Joining us today is the creator behind the powerful new biblical series, The House of David. It's a fresh look at one of Scripture's most complex and compelling figures. Hey, John Erwin, thank you for joining today.
How you doing? That's exactly right. David is complex and compelling, and I love the idea that he's a man after God's own heart, and yet he makes tons of mistakes, and he's just one of the more famous kings who ever lived. And it's something that I've wanted to do my whole life, or my whole career, I should say, at least, is tell this story. And it's amazing to finally get to it, and I can't wait for audiences to see it.
Yeah, he's such a compelling character in that he is, like you said, like he's a human guy, but he has such a beautiful heart, and he's just raw. What you see is what you get. Talk about the challenge when it's such a meaningful character like this to so many.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it started when I was 16 years old. I went to Israel with my dad, and I went to Jerusalem, went to King David's tomb, and that spark of curiosity sort of happened. And so to think that 3,000 years later, we're still singing the songs of this king, and his this 1 square mile city of his Jerusalem has had so much significance historically. It's an incredible life lived, and the complexities, the character, are incredible. It's also one of the only places in the Bible that you have the heart of someone, because you have the Psalms, and so you which I find some of the most relatable words in the Bible are the Psalms of David. So it's amazing to cross-reference those with the life that he lived, and then put it on the screen. And I think that you just can't do it as a movie. I've done movies up till this point, and when John Gunn and I, who's my partner on this project, set out to do it, you really have to do it as an epic series. And so season 1, which is out now, season 2, which we're making now, is the rise of David. It's the boy chosen to be king, in a nation that already had one. It's the slaying of Goliath. It's his first love, and it's the hero's journey of this destined person, destined to become this king. And it's been so much fun to tell this story. I'm very, very proud of it. The David and Goliath episode, especially, is something I'm probably the most proud of in my career, and I just I'm loving how audiences are reacting. It's far exceeded our expectations.
Talk to me about the biblical stories that obviously they have very high expectations. You've got, true to scripture, but you've also got these gaps where you need to bring creative license in, and you can pull these stories out, and you have to kind of, bring a sense of drama and creativity to it. How did you balance that?
Well, what I like to say, as Dallas Jenkins of The Chosen has said, is that this is not scripture. Only scripture is scripture. This is a love letter to scripture. And our hope by telling these stories is that it will draw people to the source material, and people will read the Bible in a whole new way and with a fresh perspective. We take what we have in this case. In the case of season 1 of House of David, you have about 3 chapters in 1 Samuel, and then you have the Psalms of David to understand, kind of the character. And so just the historical accounts, you could read through them in a half hour. And so you have to then extrapolate and create these storylines to fill in the gaps. But so you could almost consider it a form of biblical commentary, that we're wrestling with what's there with deep love and care and reverence for the material and deep belief in the material, and saying, well, what might this have been like to dramatize? And you learn all kinds of things when you do that process. It's Ken Burns calls it emotional archaeology, and it has certainly brought all kinds of new meaning to me while making the show. And my hope is, and after hearing people's responses, it's the same. It brings new meaning to the material, and it draws you back to the Bible in a whole new way after you see what it might have been like.
You're changing the way that people are engaging with the Bible, and you're doing a remarkable job. You have our respect. The House of David is streaming on Prime right now. Don't miss this epic retelling of the story that still speaks to us today. Thank you so much for your time today, John Erwin.
Thanks. Great to talk to you again, and I hope you enjoy the series.